heart forward, roll your shoulders back, gaze forward. Energetically draw your hands towards your knees to feel even more length along your spine as your heart shines forward, gaze forward. As you exhale, draw the tailbone heavy, belly draws up and in, press the ground away, spread your shoulder blades, let your head go. As you inhale, lift the tailbone, send the sit bones wide, breathe in into that space in the pelvic bowl and into the lower belly as you gaze forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, release pelvic floor, fill up the space, send the heart forward. Exhale, round. 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Exhale. Land back in your tabletop. Walk your hands forward a few inches. As you inhale, send your hips back in space as the tailbone stays lifted. So we'll inhale and press the hips back in space, spreading the sit bones apart, filling up the belly and relaxing the pelvic floor. Only go as far as you can until you start to round your pelvis. You want to make sure that you keep that pelvis lifted. Low back has this natural arch and curve there. Exhale, draw your hips forward, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, sink back, fill up. Keep the sit bones spreading, tailbone lifted. Exhale, shift forward. 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. And exhale. Start to walk your hands up. Stand on top of your knees and take your right foot forward. We'll take a kneeling lunge, hip flexor stretch. So press down into your front foot. Let your tailbone drop heavy so your pelvis is tilting back, and engage this left glute. And from here, you could take your arms and reach them up overhead, or you could just keep your hands on your hips or at your chest. Gaze forward, and hopefully you're feeling a stretch in the front of the left hip. Take a few more breaths here. Keep holding, keep breathing. Breathe into the back ribs, breathe into the abdomen, breathe into the whole pelvic bowl. Roll your shoulders back. 1 more breath. Maybe this time, if you haven't already, reach your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, plant your hands down, frame your front foot, and then take your right knee underneath your right hip. We'll stand tall again on the knees, and then step the left foot forward. Hug the hips in towards midline. Press down into your front heel, and then press into your back foot just a little bit. Hold here, and then engage the right buttocks. Press the hips forward so you feel the stretch hopefully in that right hip flexor. And then reach the arms up if you'd like. If you're feeling a little unstable here, you could certainly keep your hands on your hips or at your chest, at your heart center. Once you find your place here where you're feeling sensation, really breathe. If your mind starts to wander, we start getting into our thoughts, come back into the breath. Just noticing the breath, the inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. A few more breaths here. Another breath in. Another breath out. If you haven't already, maybe now you reach the arms up overhead. Full breath cycle. You can even look up. As you exhale, bring the hands down, frame your front foot. Take the left knee, take it underneath the left hip. We're going to come down onto our seat. We'll take seated butterfly pose, or in yoga we call this Baddha Konasana. We'll take the outer edges of the feet together. And for most of you, having a pillow or a prop underneath your hips would feel most likely a little more spacious. And then once the soles of the feet are together, you can open the inner arches of the feet. Let the knees open wide. And then lift your chest up. Roll your shoulder heads back in space. Take a breath in. Fill up wide all the way around. And then as you exhale, send your chest forward. You can bend the elbows. Feel free to look down towards your feet. Stay here for 10 breaths, breathing into the inner thighs, filling up the belly. You might even be able to picture the breath traveling all the way between your sit bones, to your tailbone, your pubic bone. The movement of the breath goes there. See if you can release your jaw. Stay for 4 more breaths. Let your head go. 2. Last full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, lift your chest. Keep your left foot right where it is. Shift your weight to the left side and take your right knee and lift it towards the ceiling. Turn your right foot out to the side and then bring it behind you in space. And shift your trunk so it's right back upright the best you can. You'll see I'm a little bit side bent here in my torso, but just do the best you can. You can shift your weight a little bit. So ideally the left foot is coming towards your right thigh and then we sit tall. So this is called deer pose and it helps us get into the rotation of the hips, helps to release the pelvic floor through releasing the hip structures and soft tissue. So we'll take a breath in, and as you exhale, turn your heart towards your left. And so we'll take that right hand and bring it towards the outside of the left shin, and the right hand can wrap around behind your back slightly and press into the floor. Keep the heart lifted, the chest lifted, and keep the gaze following where your heart is going. Try to resist the urge to shift way off of your pelvis. Stay rooted down. Stay for another breath, full breath in. This time as you exhale, your right hand's going to come to the outside of the left thigh. Then you're going to start to fold forward over your left thigh and bring your forearms down to the ground. You can let your forehead rest on the ground, or you can certainly bring a pillow or a yoga block under your forehead. And stay here for about 6 to 8 breaths. See if you can relax any tension in your feet, relax any tension in your jaw, your head, your neck. And even here, can you fill up your belly with breath, your abdomen expanding, the rib cage expanding, releasing tension around the pelvis, around the neck and shoulders. Just stay here with your breath. Stay for 4 more breaths. On your next breath, we'll inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, come all the way back to center. Take a breath in, lift your chest, lift your heart. Then rotate the other direction. So now the left hand will come and just try to aim for the right thigh. It won't probably get all the way there. I'm pretty stiff in my hip on this side here, so you might feel the same. But just stay for a moment. We'll stay for about 2 breaths, not too long. And then we'll make our way back to center. And we'll go to the other side. So you'll switch feet. So now the right foot will come in the front. You'll take your left knee, bring it up, and then scoot it in and out. So now the left foot is facing outwards. You have your knee facing towards the center here. And then you can shift your weight around again and just stay nice and tall. Take a few breaths here, just settling shoulders over hips. Noticing sensations in those hips, a little bit tight maybe. This is quite a sensational pose for the hip that is on the side where it's internally rotated. So this hip here for sure. I think it will be for you too. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, rotate towards your right. You'll take the left hand and bring it to the right thigh. Right hand will now wrap around you. We'll stay nice and lifted. Keep your feet active. Stay for a few breaths like this. Noticing if you start clenching or holding tension anywhere, upper abs or pelvis. Take some breaths. Then from here, we'll inhale, and as you exhale, we'll dive forward and send the left forearm and the right forearm down towards the ground. You might feel it a little bit different on one side than the other. That's okay. It's all good. You just don't want to be in pain here. So just nice, subtle, soft breaths. Again, letting your forehead rest on a block if you'd like. I don't really have one within reach at the moment, but feel free to set that up. And again, we'll stay here for 10 breaths, softening into each breath in, each breath out. If you can, see if you can make your exhales longer than your inhales. That will help you access this place in our nervous system that helps us stay in our calm state rather than in flight or fight or anxious. It's a nice tool we can use in moments when it's hard to get on top of racing thoughts or feelings of anxiety or just tension in general. So nice big full breaths in, full breath out. Again, noticing if you can let go of your jaw, release the tongue from the roof of the mouth, let the space between your eyebrows soften. Maybe you nod your head if you're not on a block, or even if you are. Stay for 2 more breaths here. One more full inhale. Exhale all the way. When you're ready, inhale, press your way up. Exhale, make your way back towards center. Take the soles of the feet together again. We'll take one more Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows, send your heart forward and down. You can look down. Stay as long as you like here. When you're ready to come up, you can press your way up on an inhale. Bring your knees together. Sometimes it's nice to help with your hands to bring your thighs towards one another. And then you can just lay back onto your back. And this is a wonderful time to either just let your legs rest out long and just let your whole body rest on the ground. If it's more comfortable, you can always take a blanket or a pillow and place it underneath your thighs. Just make sure you're not holding on to any effort here. I like to let the palms face up towards the ceiling. And just stay here for as long as you'd like. And just relax, letting the body rest heavy into the earth. When you're ready, you can roll to your side. Certainly stay longer than that, but just for our video purposes, come on up. And thank you so much for taking time to care for you today.